Okay, let's set the stage a little bit. In Bernie's army of 100 million Americans, Mikhail F. Azarniuch shared a link called Angela Davis is voting for Biden, but you think you are too revolutionary for that? Now, to the credit of the admins in this group, he got kicked out. But let's set this up as an example of the kind of vote shaming we're seeing and then the typical Bernie hardcore response. If you remember from last time, we had the Hillary supporters vote shaming anybody who wouldn't vote for her. People who said they were voting for Jill Stein got shamed and abused and mistreated. We had the David Brock astroturfing in Facebook groups and on Reddit and Twitter. Vote Blue No Matter Who got started with David Brock's astroturfing money. So after one go around, it's even clearer this time that the whole point of this vote shaming is to keep people in the corrupt DNC fold, and the people behind it, the money people behind it, the power and influence people behind it, want you to vote for Biden so that you will keep corruption alive for another election cycle. So Mikhail's argument is definitely recycled. And what I'll demonstrate in a minute is that it comes from a place of classism. And in the final analysis, it's not difficult to equate classism with supremacy. So let's get started with his egregious post. Angela Davis is voting for Biden, but you think you are too revolutionary for that. So this article by David Truly Icky Turner is what got us going this time. What do you know that lifelong civil rights activist, philosopher, and academic Angela Davis does not know? And before I read any of this garbage out loud, I want to make it clear that Angela Davis is coming at this from a place of class. We've had this problem all the way through with the Black Caucus and with other paid-off black leaders in politics and in the punditry. So what we should all know about Angela Davis is that it's possible for us, all of us, to be in alignment with workers, poor workers especially, and we don't need to be in alignment with people higher up the economic scale who are in alignment with the oligarchs. Saying the right things about race doesn't give us the right to say the wrong things about class. All right, let me hold my nose and try to read some of this bullshit. By putting Biden up as the Democratic nominee, the DNC has slapped us all in the face, but another 4 years of Trump would be a shotgun blast to the belly. Which do you prefer, being slapped or shot with the shotgun in the stomach? So let's fix that one right away. No, what we're comparing is a shotgun blast to the face versus a shotgun blast to the stomach. Let's keep that one straight. Then Icky David goes on to say, the lesser of two evils is all we have right now, and putting our heads in the sand will not improve the situation. So David, I'd say to improve the situation, you need to pull your fucking head out of your fucking ass. And now the argument that we're all going to hear again and again and again until November. There is nothing radical or revolutionary about aiding and abetting Donald Trump. Sitting out this election would be exactly that. It's a stupid argument, impossible to support, but you're still going to hear it again and again because it's in the DNC astroturfing playbook. This is one of the finer points I like to imagine a seasoned, wise activist of 5+ decades like Angela Davis could understand. Despite her own personal ideological principles, which includes classism, Davis has fought enough battles and seen enough victories/losses to know that maintaining a sense of pragmatism is critical. In a recent interview with RT News, Davis made clear that a vote for Biden was a preferable alternative to Trump despite her Marxist feminist worldview. So what she's saying is, even though she's not a racist, even though she's a leftist, she's willing to put class over anything else. She's fucking willing to sell out workers in order to maintain her classist ties to the oligarchy. Now here's the pure convoluted bullshit. Biden is far more likely to take mass demand seriously. No, he's going to veto Medicare. Far more likely than the current occupant of the White House. So this coming November, the election will ask us not so much to vote for the best candidate. Nope, it won't. but to vote for or against ourselves. And again, that's such twisted, convoluted bullshit. What it's really asking us is whether we're going to vote for our classy selves, our comfortable selves, versus workers who are desperate for change. So let's make something abundantly clear right now. Icky David is a traitor, but Angela Davis also is a traitor, based on class. Davis also took to the airwaves recently to voice her support for a Biden vote despite not advocating for Biden himself. No, you can't have it both ways. She told Democracy Now!, "To me, that is the only thing that someone like a Joe Biden represents. But we have to persuade people to go out and vote to guarantee that the current occupant of the White House is forever ousted." That's also fucking ridiculous because you're just going to get Ted Nugent instead. You're not going to forever oust someone like Donald Trump by putting someone like Joe Biden in the White House. Putting a corporate sock puppet like Joe Biden in the White House is going to guarantee that you get somebody even worse than Donald Trump as a backlash. Sheepdog host Amy Goodman described Davis as a renowned abolitionist, author, activist, professor emerita at the University of California, Santa Cruz, author of many books, including Freedom is a Constant Struggle, Ferguson, Palestine, and the Foundations of a Movement. The list is very short of others who have anywhere near the radical credentials Davis has. No, my dear, radicals don't vote for Joe fucking Biden. Radicals don't vote for corporate sock puppets. I can't believe I got this far through the article without retching. Davis should stand as an example to all radicals that utilitarian approaches are often necessary and that there is no merit in ideological rigidity. That's just the same bullshit recycled ad nauseum. If there was ever a time in American history to become practical and unidealistic, that time is now. People's lives literally depend on it. So all the people's lives who literally depend on Medicare for all are just going to have to deal with your corruption and Joe Biden's corruption. I don't know why they keep thinking that we're going to swallow this the more they shovel it at us. For 4 decades now, I have heard every presidential election that this is the most important election of our lifetimes. That lesser evilism bullshit just keeps getting pushed at us harder and harder. This is at once true and hyperbolic. The reality is, as the stakes get higher and managing the American empire becomes more untenable, every election is dramatically more important than the last. And every election shows you even more powerfully that your vote means nothing. This is part and parcel of the blowback of empire on an unwitting electorate. This is what twisted DNC astroturfing looks, smells, and sounds like. With Democrats offering up the most lukewarm, centrist, old guard candidate they could possibly find, more radical elements of the political left are making a moral symmetry between Donald Trump and Joe Biden. That's a stupid way to say it. Many Bernie Sanders supporters and those further to the left have expressed their frustration with the Democratic National Committee by making promises to not vote for Biden. And make no mistake, dude, those promises are still in effect. And nothing you say, nothing you could possibly say, is going to alter that. Now, here's something they'll throw at you. They say that we're equating a vote for Biden with a vote for Trump. That's what they're doing. They're the ones equating a vote for Biden with a vote for Trump. They're putting words in our mouth. It's a straw man. They're saying that we're equating Biden and Trump. That's a leap. That's a leap that you don't have to take. All you have to say is that Biden and Trump are absolutely unacceptable. That's not the same as equating them. I wish more people would say that out loud. By claiming that Biden and Trump are analogous, old white men who want to cling to patriarchy, the deep state, oligarchy, or one of the many other fill-in-the-blank groups that do not have regular meetings or standardized membership. What does that have to do with anything? What we're rejecting is the patriarchy and the oligarchy and the plutocracy. That's what we're rejecting. We're working, we're fighting, we're standing in solidarity with the working poor. Whether or not we're black or white or purple, whether or not we have the credentials of Angela Davis, that's what we're doing. We're rejecting the oligarchy, therefore we're rejecting Joe fucking Biden. That doesn't necessarily mean we're voting for Donald Trump. We might be voting for Howie Hawkins. We might be, as Crystal Ball suggested earlier in the election cycle, leaving the top line blank and voting down ballot. What it doesn't mean is that we're going to be traitors to the working poor and vote for someone like Joe Biden. And the last statement of Icky David's article is just a pure fabrication. The par for the course ambivalence and corruption of Biden is nowhere in the vicinity of Trump's callous ineptitude and potentiality for authoritarianism. That's simply not true. So let's sum it up. You can't vote for Biden if you're a radical. You can't vote for Biden if you're a progressive. You can't vote for Biden if you have morals. You can't vote for Biden and stand in solidarity with the working poor. You can't vote for Biden without displaying your blatant classism and supremacy. And finally, you can't vote for Biden without displaying privilege. Whatever color that privilege is, it's privilege, and it's still supremacy. So now I'll try to fairly represent the comments under that post in Bernie's army of 100 million Americans. You can see in the comments that most of the people are rejecting the bullshit and making fun of Mikhail, who got kicked out. But you can see a few other people that seem to be siding with the idea that voting for the lesser evil is acceptable. I'll give you a few examples. Ivan G. Johnson says, supporting the DNC now means you'll be supporting them ad infinitum no matter what heinous route they take. The Democrats aren't centrist, they're far right. And then Mikhail intelligently says, you're supporting Trump, you're far right, idiot. And a lot of people put laughy faces by that idiotic response. Then Ivan comes back with, no, I'm supporting common sense. Trump has been screwing things up for less than one term. Biden has been doing only horrific things for nearly half a century. I don't think people realize what an awful person this guy is. Makes Trump look like a folk singer. And then more of what we're going to be getting until November in terms of snappy comebacks. Oh, so you're a Trump supporter. I've gotten this response from some really intelligent people, believe it or not. I guess it just goes to show you that intelligent people aren't necessarily obligated to use their brains. Chris Lynn says, this gaslighting gets tired. People oppose Biden for almost the same reasons they oppose Trump. Blue MAGA is a trip. Mike Patino says, Mikhail, calling someone who won't sell out to the corrupt corporate Democrats is an idiot? No vote shaming there. We don't like Democratic sheeple. Debbie Robley says, Biden is a Republican. Everything we're against, he was for at some point. He already told his donors nothing will change for them. We'll get shafted again. Biden's an evil warmonger and a friend of pedophile sex trafficking supporting Clintons. Caravaggio Susan says, every shitty bill Trump signed into law was passed through the Democrat-controlled House. So I don't really see what voting blue is supposed to accomplish. A quote by Chris Hedges that I've used, Biden is worse than Trump. Trump inherited the system. Biden was its architect. And it continues on and on and on. So we can all see what we're in for in the months leading up to the November election. We're going to have the same 2 or 3 arguments blasted straight into our faces. We're going to be mercilessly bludgeoned. But through it all, we need to remember who are the good guys and who are the bad guys. The good guys are our fellow American workers. And the bad guys are the comfortable, blatantly elitist, meritocratic assholes who are going to keep shoving this garbage down our throats for months and months.